afternoon. I guess it's afternoon. I'm so used to it either being morning or evening. I don't, I don't come back. I'm not on very often. Actually, mostly it's evening. I rarely even do mornings anymore streaming. That's my head's down time. I got lots to do. I work out, DoorDash, and work on the app. That's basically all I do in the morning. So that's it. I get up, start working on the app, start getting some things done, try to get some focus, get late to my workout, start my workout, get ready to go DoorDash. Got to go take a shower, clean up, work out. Then I go hop. And then I get on the road for an hour and a half, 2 hours, whatever, go DoorDash. Try to make $30 to $50 depending on the day. Come home. And then I try to get heads down to work again. Sometimes, depending on how late I was up the night before, I'll take a power nap around this time. So you know my whole schedule now. And as a result, my voice is wigging out. I eat some nuts. I wonder if I have an allergy because that seems to happen sometimes. But anyway, then as the day goes on, the evening comes. Sometimes I log in around 7 or 8 o'clock, and I start my stream. And I stream for an hour and a half. I'm trying to keep my coding streams kind of short because people get bored. I think watching coding streams is boring. I think it's kind of boring. It's interesting for a little bit, but when you're just watching people code, it's kind of eh. So lately, I've been kind of trying to stream when I'm going to do something that has UI interface going. I think there's constantly some restructuring and refactoring as I try to optimize the way play data or game data is passed to the front end. So when it comes to when I when I start a game, you go and create the type of game you want. You hit kickoff. Kickoff fires up, gives you some option, gives you some shows you some teams that it's choosing, and then it gives you a team. And then that team, you say continue. It kicks off the game. You have coin flip and players loading, and then they run to their kickoff location, which is all I have right now. They all run to their on-screen location as to where they're going to be sitting for the play. Now, that's all fine and dandy, but there's been some things that have kind of come to the top as I try to optimize and improve how this works. One of which is that I have to render a lot of information on each play, and then that play has to update the game state. Which game state is all the stuff you see on the Jumbotron, basically, right? The down, the distance, the yard line, the whether or not there was a timeout called, the score, all that stuff. That's basically everything you see on the Jumbotron. But a lot of that stuff has to get manipulated and placed into the next play. So like where the ball's going to be placed, what players are coming in, what play got called to deal with the play. So all that stuff has to be processed. So it gets prepared into a game state. The game state provides, all the information it needs to the next play. So it renders it. So then it comes into the UI. UI takes that information and starts putting everything on the field. So, but I have to capture the result. What happened? How are we passing the information from the previous game state to the next game state, which is essentially each play. A game state is a play, right? It's an interval of time that is an entire play. And so I have so many things that have to happen in a play, right? So I got all the players got to move. They got to run around the field. They do their tackling, their passing, their catching, whatever they're doing. And then we have a position on the field where the ball lands. And then we got to record that and map it out to the actual UI. Tell it, okay, well, this is, where it's going to be, how we're going to place it on the field. Now, I don't know. It's possible. I don't put it past me that I have overcomplicated this. It's possible. I am developing a football game with no knowledge of game design, no knowledge of Unity, no knowledge of well, I know a little bit about what other companies have done because I work with AI, and AI kind of tells me what it thinks other companies have done. I don't know if it really knows what they did, but it does kind of go, well, this does this and this does that. So it kind of gives me guidance in that sense. And I think it's realistic to say that I've got some idea of what other games are doing, though I could be off by a little or a lot, depending on how accurate AI really knows these other games. Because I doubt it's breaking into their code, right? So anyway, I'm constantly trying to restructure. Like I said, I work with AI quite a bit, but I'm frequently having to step through the code, find out what's going on, what's it doing. If I can, I give it errors, tell it, okay, we found this. I'll give AI a chance to fix some stuff. But recently I restructured all of that. I had to create some enums, a variety of types of play results. I had to break down what kind of information is passed forward as a starting point and what information is passed forward as an ending point. Because the ending point information is often what you use in terms of what the next play is going to be. But you also need to know stuff like what's the starting point, which is how the coach responds to the starting point or to the ending point of the last play. He says, oh, okay, well, I got all this information. Here's what we're going to do to start this play. And then the AI passes in the information, says, okay, well, we're going to take all this and this is what we're going to do. And we're going to process that play. Now, a habit of AI is often AI does not think ahead. Okay, so it doesn't think, oh, well, you're going to have this situation and this situation, in the future. So let's make this smart. Let's not overdo it. AI thinks in the present only and on the current task only, or at least as far as I can tell. So when you say, I need this to happen on the kickoff, it goes, all right, well, let's create a kickoff function. And we'll say, this kickoff, on kickoffs, we do this and this. And then if there's an exception, it'll put in a little exception in there and you have this kickoff function. And then it's totally unusable when you start the next play because that was a kickoff. Or you try to utilize it, but it's called kickoff and you got to rename it and then you got to restructure all the references to it and blah, 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 blah. So it's like, no, we need to create functions that are kind of unique. So like a lot of things happen on a kickoff that happen on every other play. You got players that come in on the lineup. You got players got to block, players got to run to the ball, players got to catch the ball, players got to return. So a lot of these things are the same things you'll see on a lot of other plays. So it's the same stuff. It's just, the starting point is different. You're going to have a kicker instead of a quarterback. You're going to have the ball placed at a fixed location instead of where the ball was carried to, that kind of thing. But then you have to have like, okay, well, we got to have some way to manage the ball. Where's it going to last? Where's it going to be placed on the field? Certain types of plays, we always stick it in the center, but certain types of plays, you stick it on a hash mark. Or certain types of end play results, you'll stick it on a hash mark instead of on the center of the field. And sometimes you don't move it at all because it's already in the hash marks. So this is what I'm saying. There's a variety of things that you have to consider. So I want to encapsulate the individual elements so that when a play finishes or does anything, it can just call the same function all the way down the line. So in essence, even though I've only prepared the kickoff, I'm hoping to take all these functions and such that have been built for the kickoff and make sure that it's building a solid flow that can be used on every play. Because I still have to go through and start creating all the skill checks. Now, by the way, I've implemented my first skill check, but now I got to render it, which is the kick. And I've also started putting in logic that says, okay, well, certain players have to run to the ball and players got to, run and do their blocking, all that kind of thing. That triggers events. And then I had the issue where I was like, okay, I want everything to happen in a step. A step being everything's parallel. But the problem is when players have to run a long way down the field, certain actions like a block, say a block doesn't go anywhere, right? A block just goes boom, and you're blocking. It can be like that if you miss the block, or it can go on for several seconds if you hold the block. If you engage the defender and you're holding it, or you're keeping him from getting away. You're keeping the block up. While at the same time, you could have a guy running down the field whose position target is like 15, 20 yards down the field. It could take him several seconds to get down the field, but his one action is get down the field. He doesn't have any other actions. There's no more steps in his play logic other than just to get down the field. And then once he gets there or gets close to there, he's looking for the ball, right? So he doesn't have a bunch of steps. So some players may have a lot of things they have to do. Some players may have to do some cuts. Maybe you have a 4 zigzag route. Run here, turn, run here, turn, run here, there, turn. Turn around, do a button hook, and then you do an action like settle or set or whatever it is that you come down and you just kind of find a spot around you. That's a multi-step action, a multi-step play. So it doesn't make sense that everybody would have a step to go along with, other than to say one step just keeps repeating itself while the other steps are executing, which is fine. We need to have all the steps kind of do that. One step is triggered, another step is triggered, but we have elements of time that have to fire for each one of those steps. And so it gets a little complicated because I got to figure out how to make sure that so if every step, a step doesn't fire for an element of time, like I was trying to figure out. So it's kind of becoming tricky to get all this to happen. I was thinking step is a matter of time, but it can't be because they don't line up correctly, right? So one step could be multiple elements of time. So what I end up having to do is do something like a step duration. Some things happen on an instant, right? A block takes place the second the ball snapped. Bam, you're right there in his face. You're doing a block. And then, some things don't happen right away. They just happen as they go down, and it's like an in progress step. So you just keep repeating that until the guy hits his spot for all the other steps. So some actions are essentially in progress steps. So I got to figure out how to continually trigger the right, like every time there may be a point, it's potentially possible that in a play, I just repeat everybody's steps because nobody's hit their limit. Maybe everybody's got their block locked. You got a bunch of guys running down the field in a long pass. Quarterback's just looking for someone to throw to. Everybody's just running or doing their thing for several steps in a row because those periods of time haven't happened. Now, it's going to add up to maybe 3 or 4 seconds, right? I mean, I guess you could have a scrambly scenario where it goes 4, 5, 6 seconds or whatever. But once a play moves to beyond the predetermined, which is the step play actions, the plays assigned route actions, you move into what I call runtime actions. These are the things you're doing once the ball has done something that you can't plan for. That is, it was thrown. One was thrown and caught. Once it's thrown, you're now in game time runtime actions, which is his goal is to pass. He passed. Whoosh, ball's in the air. Now you're just doing runtime actions. Catch, run, tackle, blah, blah, blah. All that stuff happens. It's not assigned. It's not anything. It's just the ball's out there. The game's going to proceed in kind of a more fluid, randomy kind of way. Ball's going to go where it goes. It's going to get caught. It's not going to get caught. Guy's going to tackle. He's going to dodge tackles. He's going to do what he does throughout. And all the other players have to go do their runtime actions, which is pursue the ball, block for the blocker, or block for the runner. Or I guess you could just forget some guys, I mean, there are guys. I mean, what does the quarterback do other than watch to see what happens? You throw the ball 30 yards down the field, short of an interception that comes back the other way. Quarterback has nothing to do but watch. I mean, it's not like he's going to take off 30 yards down the field and go try and block. I mean, they don't have any purpose in life. And besides, he might get lucky and get slammed by somebody. He'll just get a lie on the floor and hear about the results later when he wakes up. But anyhow, so that's kind of what I need to consider, all these different things. Anyway, so that is the current plan, trying to get the run game actions to all work. And then, of course, eventually I need to re-render them, become rendered. So all those actions have to then be displayed, and so that's what I'm trying to do. Oh, the ones you don't realize all the stuff that's happening. I mean, you might if you really thought about a game and all the little stuff that has to happen, the way a person's brain has to work, right? A player's brain has to function. Okay, so AI is already breaking my rules. What the heck is screaming snake case? Screaming snake case. Is that capitalized case? That's proto wire string. Screaming snake. It must be capital. Capitalized snake case. Oh, come on. I hate it when it does that. So, as a rule, I hate snake case. It's like I just hate snake case. I don't know why. It's just I don't like underscores. That's probably why. Well, my brain is farting right now. Pascal and camel. Proto enum values are already screaming snake case. Really? Okay. All right. Fine. We'll go with that. All right, so let's go check to see what we're at. What did I have to do? You'll need to open this in Unity to confirm the fix resolves. Client side only fix. Okay. Which means I can compile and run. See what this does. I am not. I am just. I don't know. Maybe I'm anal. just. I. There are just things that bug me, and snake case bugs me. So, it's one of those things, I guess. Some people like it. I'm not those people. What is going on, man? Do I have? Am I still waiting for this to run? Are we good now? Can I actually? Why? I thought I was good before I started. Like I thought everything was running, but right now things are being kind of dumb. I'm waiting for this to stop doing stuff. All right, do we have? Can I do stuff now? Ugh, are we done? I hope. Did I tell it to start? I don't remember. Did I feel like I never told it to start. It just. I don't know. Let's try that again. So, if you know me at all, you've been around at all, you've seen that I drink Ghost. You know I drink Ghost. I like Ghost. This one's kind of weird. Ghost keeps coming out with new flavors, you know, like Kickstart does. I drink Kickstarts too. Like Kickstarts are kind of like my weak go-to, and Ghosts are my kicker go-to. And I drink other stuff, monsters and crap, but I only drink like one a day. One potent one a day, and then occasionally I'll have a Kickstart along with one of the potent ones, like on the weekends, Thursday, Friday, Saturday kind of thing. I don't know. It's Thursday weekend. I've kind of gotten the habit of starting my double dose on Thursdays, even though lately I've been trying to cut back. So I don't always. But anyway, that's besides the point. Bubblicious strawberry. It's sweet. I mean, they're all kind of sweet, but I'm not sure what I think about this one yet. I wouldn't say it's bad. I just maybe just a little too sweet for me for 5 calories. But get them at they're cheapest. Ghosts are cheapest when you buy them at Costco, and Costco just has these variety packs, and they change all the time. So, I mean, it's better than nothing because they did actually stop having them for a while, and I was bummed out. So I got a pack of monsters, which they gypped me and made them all 12 ounce because monsters are supposed to be 16 ounce. Who sells monsters as 12 ounce? It's said on the box, but it's like you don't think about that because you're just like, oh, monsters. I'm just gonna buy monsters, and it's like you read the box 12. After I've gotten it home and find these cans are really little. Anyway, so let's see here. Where are we? All right, who we got? We got the Scarljaval Guanacos. Yeah, I know. I have some hard written names. It's hard to make city names out of garbled letters. I'm lucky I had vowels to work with. The Guanacos are essentially Yetis? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I think my logos are off. That's not right. Guanacos. I think guanacos are like llamas. They are like llamas. Ah, my logo's wrong. What the heck? Scholar Javel. What the heck, man? What? I knew that was weird looking. So that's not right. Is it just randomly throwing letters? Is it my system that's wrong, or is it the code that's wrong? In other words, are my images wrong? All right, let's go see here. Nope. Static. Public. Images. Teams. Logos. Scarl Javal. Guanacos. What would be that? Well, are they even in here? SN Scar. That's not a thing. It must be my images wrong. The Senatine Saints are supposed to be that one. I think I've got the wrong team. I got the wrong logo. That's the Yetis. The Yetis are like the Miami Dolphins or something. So yeah, I got my logos wrong. Let's fix that quick. I think the Guanacos are the Miami Dolphins. I mean the Yetis. I mean the Miami Dolphins are the Yetis. Blah, 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 blah. See, we got the Scarl Javel Guanacos is this guy. And I do have a coach. It's him. But that's not. Oh, I don't have a logo for the Guanacos. What the heck? My player is this one. And that's the pose. I don't have. What is SN? SN. Who is SN supposed to be? Let's go to teams. I don't know. System init. There we go. Playbook. Links. Teams. Sheik Nafgas Yetis. Oh. Wow, that's the Kansas City Chiefs are the Yetis? Okay. Scarl Javal Guanacos are SKJ. I don't even have an SKJ. It's because I don't have a logo for them. So something's wonky. All right, so the Sheik Nafkas Yetis are correctly showing up as SN. So it is the right logo, I guess. But the wrong team is getting it. So why? 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 Oh, did I set? I wonder if did I set the Yetis as the default? I don't think I did. The default is the fallback that comes with, you know, anytime I don't have a team. I didn't think I set them. That's a coach. Huh. All right. Well, that's distraction. I got to figure out what's going on with that. But it could be that there's no team. Do I have a user team, opponent team? image. It's a panel. Yeah, I've got them set as the default image. That's the problem. I don't have a dummy logo, but apparently it's the Guanacos need to have their own. I need to create a logo for the Guanacos. By the way, these are the Guanacos. Hey, bot. These people. Okay, so I know who two of the three people are. That's you, me, and Dupree. I don't know who the third person is. Hey, third person, how's it going? Thanks for coming by. Thanks for saying hi. So these are the Guanacos. They are kind of like a llama. All right, so let's see. Let's move past all that since apparently that's my default image. I got to come up with a default image that I know. Like it should be something simple, like I don't know, an X or something. Something that says, "This is not a logo. This is a team that doesn't have a logo." Okay, so we're gonna go. You know, woohoo! Got more people here. Hey, people. How's it going? Thanks for saying hi or not saying hi. I mean, you haven't said hi yet. I'm assuming you're gonna say hi at some point when you get the urge. But for now, thanks for stopping by. So we're gonna run this. Let's see. Are we getting anywhere? Are we actually getting any players to get on the field? Oh, I don't need that. Let's turn that off. I'm stepping through code, watching things go kablooey. So you can see they're not moving very fast, but they are moving. You can see there's no animations on these guys, but hey, let's worry about animations later. I'm just trying to get these guys to do what they're supposed to on the field. All right, so the ball is here, so everything's centered on the ball. That's why you only partially see these guys. And then I can go to the end zone, and you can kind of view down the field. All my guys standing on the sidelines, and my kicker, and my guys down here waiting to get the ball. Woohoo! And then the other way. Hey, what happened to my end zone word? That's supposed to be the name of the team. Is supposed to be back here. Oh, you know what? I bet you it's there. But it was there before. But I've been messing with the lines on my Yeah, that'll be it. But I don't think popular is anything that's kind of on my horizon at the moment. I mean, maybe when I'm entertaining and I'm not doing coding, I have a chance to build up a little bit of following. A lot of people come here, and I bet you I've got the wrong tag on my thing. I bet you. What is my tag? Is there a way to know what my current game setting is? I bet you I haven't updated my game setting. That's probably why people are coming by. They're going, "Hey, you're not playing a game," and they're leaving. See, they went from 4 to 3. They're like, "Oh, he lied." Can I say? Is there a way to know what my game is? That's showing. Oh no, it's the right tag for game. What about tags? I have any tags? Video games English. That's my tags. It's not the greatest. It's not the greatest. Let me change. Let's update my tags. I don't need that. What the heck? I want to go here. Not that anybody. So updating my tags does nothing for YouTube. It only fixes Twitch. But you know, whatever. I can update the tags. Hey, by the way, if you're interested, somebody else probably created this too, but I created for me this tool called YouTube Stream Updater. When I am live, I can run this thingy here. Once it loads, I'll show you. I'm probably just burning up my tokens, but or not my tokens, but my bandwidth. So what's kind of cool about this tool is that it allows me to update my YouTube account while I'm live, assuming it works. What the heck? Where'd it go? Hello. I've used it many times and I haven't changed it in forever, so that could be part of the problem. Oh, is it still loading? Geez, it's still loading stuff here. Try it again. Kind of jumped the gun on me there. I think it's this one. Forgetting. We're running this guy. Okay, so what it does is it lets me go in here and then I can update my tags. Or I can even update my image on here. See this image of this guy wearing a tank top while he's watching while he's streaming? Yeah, I know. I stream on tank. It's hot in here, man. It's been, what is it? It's almost 80 degrees outside. And usually when it's 80 degrees outside, it's cold downstairs, which is where I do my work. But geez. Oh, gotta go up here and click edit. Then I go down here and set the text. I didn't even realize that I don't have. Let's go ahead. Wait, where's my? Let's see, what build am I on? I'm on build 257. PC build 257. Android build, what is it, 70? I don't know, it might be 90 something by now. What is it? Oh, I don't have it. I think it's 90. I want to say 90 something. Let's say 95. Let's go ahead and guess and say 95. Nobody's paying attention. It's just, it's got to kind of go up in general, right? I mean, the rule is you want it to go up so somebody doesn't come back in a week and go, wait a minute, how'd you get further? How are you at a lower build than you were last time? Well, I'll tell you, because I don't remember the numbers half the time. Where's it at? Here we go. Build 257. And what's nice is I can get rid of this thing because that's something that Restream sticks in there. Oh, look, there it is. Oh, nope, nope, nope. It's 257 and Android build 97. Yeah, sure, we'll go with that. Yay. All right, so I hit save. Then I can do something kind of more ideal. Is let's see here. Karama, how's it going, my friend? How you doing, man? Been a bit. Let's go ahead and capture this image. And we'll go over to my handy dandy screen here. And I'll say edit again. Say upload. I'll go to my screenshots. Nope, not that screenshots. This screenshots. I think. Hello. Where'd it go? Well, it should be right here. I don't know where it went. Did it not work? That was weird. Where's my screenshot go? It's right there. supposed to go into my, there it is. Finally. Oh, nope. Just do that. Ah, being dumb. Sheesh, make this difficult, man. It's supposed to be easy. There you go. Okay, so then it gives you all these options. Which one do you like so that it fits the frame? They're all kind of mediocre. I'll go with the one that's kind of sort of fitting the frame. And yeah, we'll call it that. I'm good with it. So then as I'll update my screen, so my thumbnail should show differently here when it's done. At least it should. Didn't change. Dang, it did do this. It updated that. Why didn't it update my image? Is my image, my total, oh, I was going to say current viewers, it's lying. I only have 3 current viewers. It says here I have 4. Okay, so math. I don't know why it's mathing out different. It's probably behind. Okay, I thought I changed this, but it didn't take. Try that again. Oh, I have to click that, then click upload. There we go. I haven't used it in a while. Jeez. Now I'm down to 2. Oh, I'm losing people at a breakneck pace. Somebody's deserted me. All right, so yeah, there you go. There's my new thumbnail. Okay, so anyway, that's what that tool does. So you can see everybody came on the field, they did their thing, but now the tough part. I need to start working on getting the kick to render. Now that has been kind of tricky in that it hasn't worked yet. Every time I try to run the second step, things kind of explode. And I think part of the problem is my play is actually broken. So it's not just the rendering of the play, it's the information the play holds that tells what the players are supposed to do. That I think that is what is not set up correctly. It's currently unhappy. We'll say unhappy. That's the word I'll go with. So if I go into special here, I got my plays and this thing. And SO1 is the play I think we're kicking. This is the play that it's using. So I've got this setup going on. It's just a big JSON that tells the system what to do on the play, right? So right now it's properly editing the lineup. So everybody's landing on the field correctly. We're there, man. We are doing good. But then there's the issue of the next thing. So if I were to take all these lineup actions out, that's step 1. And then we'd have step 2. Now, every player doesn't necessarily have to have. So I basically have to get all these to render. And the problem is they're not correctly rendering their play. So these are where they're supposed to go. Okay, so we have, so the rack delay basically says you can't do anything until this completes. There is no action for you. You're just do what you're told. Just wait. This step has to complete before you can do anything. Now, not all the players have that. That's only the offensive players, because on the modern kickoff, the dynamic kickoff, that is the modern kickoff. Now this is only the offensive side, so it's not going to have any players that do anything else. So their rack 2 just does rack 2. They shouldn't do squat. That's the idea. And so when it comes in, there should be no information for these guys. And that's how it's going to be. Everybody on the offense has a delay on their thing. Delay just means skip this step. We got to do our lineup. Everybody's in place. Okay, bot. You have a good one, man. Let's see. We got lineup. Okay, so that's it. That's the entire place. So, I don't have a lot going on here because really their assignments are simply move down the field and try to tackle the guy who has the ball. But the try to tackle the guy who has the ball happens as a runtime action. So they've only got 3 actions. They wait for the kick and then they run after the guy with the ball. But I have a move I just have a move in a direction, right? So they're in a position like these guys, these guys are on the ends and on the outer edges. And then they're going to run 15 down, which is 35 yards, which I think might actually be it's actually 37 yards. And if they're on the 35, they're going to run into the end zone. That seems kind of far. Seems kind of far to run. Because no. This is in relationship to where the ball is. Okay, so it's not. I'm sorry. This is in relationship to where the ball is, or where the initial start of the ball. Maybe that's my problem. I wonder if it's tracking the ball where it currently is. Huh. Interesting. Well, it ran it. Let's go ahead and see what step 2 does. What I need to do is trace. Okay, so I don't know I'm guessing the defense is going to be all out of whack, but let's go to see if I can render the kick. I have no idea how to do this. So this will definitely be an AI assistant thing. I have to figure out how to make the Unity render this play. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a break in my code for, I think there is, let's see, this is my code, by the way. Where's the break? I have a break that I have in here, so, but I don't know if it's in here. Oh, it is here. Okay, so that's the break I want. So this break right now is saying, hey, don't do anything else. This is going through every step. Every step has its thing, but what we need to do is is lineup step. Is lineup step. How does it determine lineup step? Okay, is lineup step. So it must be doing a read. It's trying to find out. It's trying to find the hard coded term for lineup step. Yeah, it's lineup. Okay, so it seems like a lot, really. Snow. All right, so what do we do for our lineup step? We just find out if it's just a Boolean. It's doing a check that says if step.player actions. Oh, well, hopefully that's not the case. But really, if we have no player actions in the step, why would we have no player actions for the step? I guess that could happen. That actually could happen. Because we're working on steps 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, if some guy only has 3, then he's not going to have a thing. But I think the problem is I can't. Jeez. I'm going to have to allow for see, this is I'm going to have to allow for asynchronous steps, which means I got to allow things to run. But lineup is not asynchronous, and either is the kick. movement is asynchronous, blocking's async. I think everything else is async. It just happens. That's the whole point. But I'm all right. Well, I'm trying to decide how best to handle. I know some actions have to basically be async, which is really only ever going to be like startup. So like say lineup, everybody has to get to the line and line up. And then I don't know what n.n is. I mean, I remember it's some kind of expression, right? I don't remember what it is. I always have to look up your expressions, Carl. I know you like to use them. I don't know what that is. Is that a heart? Is it supposed to be like, oh, it's a heart? Or is it a sideways heart? That's a butt. Three is a butt. I don't know what that is. Anyway. Anyway, so I got to figure out what's got to run synchronously and what has to run asynchronously. So, but it has to be, it could be a wait. I wonder if I should just make it wait long. Like, you know, I have a thing on my, let's see if I can make it move faster. For one, they were moving to their spaces really slow. And I put in code on the simulation to allow me to speed the players up. But look, I got speed times multiplier 100 here, which means these guys are moving really slow onto the field, which is telling me their speed is still not coming through, which is a problem. So I got to figure out where that is. All right, so we still have the player speed is not player speed times units. Whatever this function is here, which is simulation manager. I'm gonna put a break here. I bet you. Plus, I need to figure out a way to reset this so that I could just do this. Because when I go back here and come back to the game, it doesn't reset. It's you can see all the players all over the field. I don't know if this is gonna even do anything. We'll see. I gotta make this clearer. Reset. All right, so we got player speed. Does it have a time? Nope, it is not. Speed 40 time. Yeah, it's not working. Okay, so every player has a 40 speed. It's a calculated speed. It's not their actual 40 speed, but it's the speed they're being given. And it's not, by calculated, I do not mean I randomly came up with a 40 speed for every player. It is calculated based on their stats. So every player based on their stats gets a 40 speed with a range based on their position. So there you go. There you have it. There you have it, man. 40 speed, every player has one. But it's not calculating. So I gotta go find out why. Because I assigned all of the 40 speeds to the players, but it's apparently not actually reading them. It's failing to pass this value to the players. All right. So speed 40, player prefab. So it's this guy. Get speed skill. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and run. All right, we're gonna go get speed skill. Player prefab. We got Quinn Jackson, a cornerback. He's on the field. What's his Return speed skill. Really? That's all it is. That's the whole function, return speed skill. So we're what's that? Oh, okay, I'll go grab it. Well, be right back. I'll grab it. Just leave it alone. Okay, I'm back. All right, let's see here. So it looks like um, it's supposed to be applying the speed, but I notice it's not actually getting the speed. So it must be setting it somewhere. Where is it setting it? Awake speed skill. Player data. Let's see what happens when I do this. It's initialized. All right, so I'm gonna have to stop and see if this is loading up with anything. That would be a key element. Can't read data that doesn't exist, man. It's not even an issue if we're not reading the data. So it's, why are we not loading? Oh, probably because I'm running. Never mind. Let's go ahead, F5. Get rid of this because obviously nobody's going to have any data. It's using a zero base, which is of course causing me problems. All right, so we're going to hit stop. Got to get that to reset those. I can. Yep. I'm just thinking through other stuff, a few future things I got to consider. But for now, let's not worry about it. Let's go ahead and run this again. See how it loads the players. I gotta see how it captures if the player data is getting passed in. If it doesn't even pass in, then we know it's not loading. If it is getting passed in and there's no data, that's different. We have to make sure it loads, and that's, I think the bug is in that it's either not getting set or it's not getting the right data from the source. We won't know that until a moment. All right. And we'll continue. And then we go find if our players are getting any speed. I can't control the speed of the players running on the field if they do not actually have variable speeds. So yeah. The Sciola. Secola. The Secola Bad Owls. All right, so at some point we load players. We're going to run a flip coin first. Let's see who's going to win the coin toss. I got a problem with my text display too. See, it's got a comma. I don't think there's a comma. I think it's being cut off. It's not the whole content. Let's see what that is. Control F, comma. Let's see. What is the words? Win the toss. Let's just look for win the toss. Win the toss. No. Current project. There it is. Winning team. Coin flip result. Oh, well, coin flip result is not getting a value apparently. Why? Huh. That's why it says comma. All right, I'm going to have to track down this guy too. Oh, are we still in the coin flip then? Okay. Show. I have a feeling that's a bad one to use. I think show is everywhere. Plugins, modules, tween, configuration, conflict manager, image, navigation. No. Yeah, I knew show was going to be all over the place. That's not going to work. Happening. Initializer, environment, have. How about coin flip result? Nope. It's not going to work because, yeah, it's not going to work. Skill, play setup, game setup. Skill rating, models, logic, managers, quick UI, account management, announcement board, confirmation panel, card. It's not going to be game card. Online pump, online status, progress indicators, game plan, home, leagues, none of that stuff. Login, register, playbook, roster, simulation. It's probably under simulation, right? Coin flip. Here we go. There we go. Let's see. Show. Coin flip panel. Well, that's the animator. Private show results. Show game session. Show the results. Show win loss. Show private void. Show results. Coin flip result panel. This is the one I want. No, that's not the one I want. That's the function I'm at right now. Okie dokie. It's not the one I want. Who is calling you? Result panel that shows that one. Winning team mascot. Current game session. Coin flip results. Aha. I think that's the problem. It's not the same. So coin flip result is this guy. And it is not right. So we gotta go here and check this too. Okay, let's stop it. I have to stop because I can't go through these processes. Because I haven't figured out yet how to. I mean, it's not a figure out. It's just I need to destroy the state, and I just haven't done that. That's probably another thing I need to do. It's always little things you need to do. I need to kill the state of the game. I don't know if eventually I'm going to even allow leaving the page. I mean, you could kill the game, but I probably won't allow leaving the page. Because it's kind of like what has to happen. It's like most games don't let you leave the page when the game's running, right? I mean, there's a battle going on. Well, I want to go do something else for a little while. Okay. Just gonna leave the game going, or you could come back later and see the result, but all right, we should be getting a break. Why didn't we break? Did I disconnect? Ah, frickin' French fries. I disconnected. Sheesh. How did I disconnect? I don't remember disconnecting. I probably hit the wrong button. Well, actually, I think what it is you have to let it run through and you can stop Unity, but if you stop it here, you're disconnecting. I think that might have been my problem. I should test my dog. She can always hear me crunching on my popcorn. She's way back there. I throw a couple kernels in my mouth. Crunch, crunch. Boom. You're such a goof. It's got bad ears, man. I used to have it in a plastic bag. Plastic bag make tiny little crumbly noises when you pick it up. You know, plastic bag noises. Like a freezer bag. I'd reach over and grab the bag. She could be upstairs. You hear her running down the steps. This bag wasn't even like a, it wasn't like a chip bag. It was a plastic freezer bag full of popcorn. She could hear it, and her ears would go, what? Even when she's asleep, I have her sleeping behind me, facing the other direction. Just, I'll be talking. She won't be moving at all. I'll touch the bag. Ear pops just a little bit. I don't grab it. I grab it, pick it up. She's over here, just like that. It's crazy. And her little, she's got gizmo ears. You know, like the gremlin. They change her nickname depending on what she's doing. Well, now they call her Gizmo. Sometimes they call her Hopsy. Because she hops. I mean, she'll like get up and she wants to say hi. And boing, 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 boing. She's like bouncing up in the air. And then sometimes I call her Zipsy. She's zipping around. Or Zippy, not Zipsy. Zippy. She's not even my dog. It's my wife's dog. I have a dog. My dog is Kira. But she's a little bit more laid back at home. But boy, pretty soon, within the next hour, she'll be like down here climbing up, like, kind of, hello, are we doing anything? We're going for a walk? Time for a walk. She knows it's walk time. She'll be bugging us pretty soon. She'll be howling. She's kind of half husky. All right, let's see what we got here. All right, flipping the coin again. We should. Now we're in the code. All right, so we have coin flip, which has nothing in it. Let's go see what's supposed to have in it. Coin flip result is nothing here. Why is coin flip result getting no nothing? So I know who won because this will say Beborn Scorn. Blah, 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 blah. It does say kick or receive, blah, blah, blah. Where's my coin flip results? Why aren't my coin flip results being passed? So this team did not win. Well, it does say receive. Coin flip result, nope, no call. The away team gets to call. So like if I go back here, such is the way of it. So they called coin flip. Okay, so they called tails. Ah, okay, I see. They called tails. The result was heads. So we can pull it from the away team because it'll always be on the away team. Away team gets to call it. So it's actually wrong here. Let's go ahead and hit it's away team coin flip result. Away, whoa, away team. Is that the spelling? Is it capital T? It's capital T. Away team coin flip result. All right, so we'll run that. Okay, so I don't think that's going to actually display correctly still, just because I changed it mid-run and it doesn't know what to do with that. Yeah, it's not going to do that. But hopefully it'll work the next time. We'll find out soon enough. And all right, so the next thing I should see is the speed data, player data. Okay, so we got player data coming in. And what is coming in? Attributes, depth positions, speed skill. Speed skill 0, so it's not getting populated. That's the problem. Okay, so let's see, can I go, let's go to the watch, and then we'll have to add like player data dot speed skill, and it's 0. And I will, let's remove these two. Clear, 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 clear. How do I make you guys go away? I don't want you on there. Delete watch. All right. So just do this. I'm going to put this to AI. So yes, I sometimes use AI when, yes, I might be able to figure it out myself, but you know what? It'll allow me to go fiddle faddle with other stuff while AI does this. This is a simple thing, I think. I mean, it's just gotta, it's gotta check to see what's not, why is it not getting loaded is the question of the day. Right? Okay. So we're gonna go here. And I already copied it, so we'll go over to my screenshots here. And we'll drag this puppy down here. So we are passing in player data to load in the prefab. However, the speed skill is not getting populated in the pass. It is coming back empty for all players. While it tries to solve that, let's go see if my oops. Oh, let's go see. Let's go ahead and run this. This problem with this is it's going to do this for every. Oh, interesting. It is not going to do it for every player. I kind of thought it would do that for every player. It's like it did it once. It went and got one player's worth of data. Oh, I think it was supposed to load for all players. We did the initialize, loads it up, and then none of the players were actually getting values, which I'm not looking at the references. Okay, so we'll leave that. So it probably is already done. Oh, it's compiling something. What the heck? I didn't. Oh, because I changed the yellow one. Changing code midstream. Come on. We're not running. They don't have anything to run against. There's no data. Gotta wait. Unity's so slow. Well, I don't really need this anymore. I already updated my stream, so I can get rid of that. We're done? Can I do it? All right. I wonder if I should let it finish. Is it going to finish before, or do I? Oh, I thought I stopped you. It's not. Is it doing anything? Good. Speed key exists in skill version. Confirm this legit skill key. Now let's confirm for player data structure will go as the skills data available to players. Confirm this is a mobile SDK drift bug. Let me apply the fix in mobile.go. Build roster player matching the online patch. Aha! AI forgets a lot of times. I've got 3 things that need to have data mapping. I have the back end, which is the network stuff. Well, not the back end. Let's call it the network stuff. And then we have the local stuff. But the local stuff is dependent on what is local. We got DLL and we have AAR. It's basically the same. They're both using SQLite, so they're using the same thing, but I'm not, in fact, they just compile differently. So they have different flags and stuff that they have to run to compile. So there's a DLL compile and there's an AAR compile. AAR is the Android compile. And you might ask, what about iOS? Yeah, eventually we'll get to that then. It'll hopefully be using the same thing. If it has to use anything other than the tech stack I'm working on, it may not be on iOS right away because I'm not building a new tech stack. I try to design this to be as tech stack agnostic as possible. In other words, it's the same agnostic. Yeah, that's probably not the right word, but tech stack consistent. Try to pick something that is good enough to play on all of the things. I think iOS supports everything I'm doing. So I just don't want to build on, I don't want to worry about all those things. I'm doing PC and Android. Once I get PC and Android doing their thing, then eventually when I get closer to a beta or something, I might try to compile it for iOS. But it's all kind of been considered along the way. I just don't want to mess. You might notice that when I do my build, I do have an iOS build here. I just don't run it. I've never actually ran an iOS build. I don't know if it'll even work. It might just go cough all over the place. But maybe not. Maybe it'll just build. We'll see. We'll worry about that. We'll worry about that when the time comes, because like I said, it's not my my priority at the moment. One thing at a time. Sync issue, the online blah, 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 but the offline mobile SDKs build roster players never set it, so it defaulted to 0 for every player when running through local path, which is where your screenshots initialize. Breakpoint is hitting, which is interesting. It should not be running in the offline data path because I've got it running in debug mode, which is to say I've got a setting that's saying run everything through API, which is going to the back end. It's like making sure the API on the back end works, and then I'll try to make sure it all runs on the front end. And that's because I can step through my code on the back end, which I cannot do on the front end. So that's basically why I did it. I can't step through the back end calls because they're compiled. They're compiled into an AAR object. If I want to step through raw code, which is going through every line of code, I have to run through the back end, which is interesting that it says that. So we'll see what's going on. I might ask, I think I am going to ask why it says this. But the offline mobile SDKs build roster never sets it. I think the issue per the online path already sets blah blah blah, which is what your screenshots initialize breakpoint is hitting. So it defaults to 0. All right, so this is weird. Well, but I think you are wrong. Sync, I have app initialize here. Unless this got changed back. No, I see it's set to online. No, my API routing configuration. Yeah. Oh. What? left it until we get the simulation working, then I will So a lot of times I give AI a lot of background to what I'm saying and doing, because sometimes it gleans certain things from what I'm saying and creates little notes. It doesn't do it all the time, but oftentimes it will. It'll say, oh, I'm going to write this down, blah, blah, blah. So it has an information for itself to reference at a future point. Say, oh, okay, well, we're doing this and we're doing that. So it also gives it information that says, oh, you're running on online mode, so this should be working on the back end. So I needed to verify that this problem won't be a problem when I run it on the back end. Well, I call back end. It's not back end. It's network. Network is not against the device. So if you're on your PC and it's running network, it's running against my servers, my backend code, the microservices that are supporting the application. And there are situations where stuff runs against my services. These are isolated all through endpoints. All the code is isolated 100% so that it's not actually directly callable. But the point of it is that it can protect PvP. That's the whole point. So when you're running leagues that have other players in it, that stuff runs online or on the network. So online and network are the back are my back end, and then back end in general is just any database, right? So you're either a SQL database or the back end database. That's back end. So you got local and network back ends. It's not relevant unless you're a coder and you care about how I'm setting this up. So take it for what you take it for what it is. Glean from it what you will. And so that's what I'm trying to work out here. I think we're in pretty good shape. It's just double checking what I said, because you can see that I have this setting here. Can you see it? Yeah, I guess you can. Yeah. Unless you're looking at it on my TikTok. I'm not streaming on TikTok right now, but I'm just saying if I were to upload this, you're looking at this in TikTok, it's probably super tiny and you probably can't see this. Or if you're looking at it in really low resolution, that too would be a problem. Anyway, this little guy here says online only. It's API writing. This is telling the system only make calls against the database. So everything we're doing is just call against the network backend. Once everything's kind of working, I'll do a build and run it against an Android device so that I can see that everything's working. And the way I do that is I do a build and I disconnect the backend completely so that I know it's not able to call the backend, and then I make it forces it to run everything network or offline. I turn off all the services. I just don't have anything available to it, so it has to run everything offline, and that tells me, okay, what works, what doesn't. Because I can, even though I know it's set up, because I went through and checked, I still just mentally like to make sure that there's not been a loophole. Because AI, okay, so occasionally AI will do something like, oh, well, let's just create this piece that connects straight to the back end, and it bypasses my router. I have an API router that everything is supposed to go through. Now, I did have it create rules and do all that kind of stuff, so it knows that everything should be going through the API router class. The API router class then reads things like the routing configuration and, a current state of the network and all that stuff, and decides where the data should go. Does it go to a network call? Does it go to a local SQL call? Most things, the entire game, supposed to fully function against a SQL, but when I'm debugging or trying to get things like the simulator to work, I make sure it all runs against the back end. And that tells me, all right, well, we have a fully functional backend. Everything is doing its job because it's all going to this backend. I could theoretically not have a local database at all in this state, but I have functions and things like that that create the local database at startup. So I would, even if I deleted it, it would still create it because that's part of the startup process. I'm just trying to make sure it's not doing anything here. It's not doing much. Let's go ahead and let's run this. We'll see if this has, we'll see if I run into anything, if it tries to do anything while I'm doing it, but hopefully it's just validating. Do I have I am still running against, okay, so I am still started. If things are working. Sometimes it really struggles. It's like 1 second, this will take like 2 minutes to figure this out. And then I give it some feedback and it goes, oh, let me look into that. And it's like 20 minutes later, it's still going. It's like, was it that hard to look? Thinking with extra high effort. I am, by the way, running on Sonnet 5. I'm not using Claude or Fable or Opus because, well, I don't know. Sonnet 5 is okay. I've been running, I think it runs pretty good. From what I understand, Sonnet 5 is better than Opus 4.8. Now, Opus 5, I don't think is available to me yet. I tried to update my code the other day, and it updated, but apparently it was one version short of Opus 5, so it may not yet be available to me. So I was thinking I'd use it more now that I've got the extra 50%, because I've been having a tough time hitting my my limits. So it's good. I'm not complaining. Don't get me wrong, Anthropic. Don't need to cut me off. I'm having a hard time hitting my limits. The 5-hour window limit. I think right now I'm doing a few things, but I don't think it's even that high. Let's go look at my usage. There, I don't. Wait, what? Oh, let's go here. I don't know what my. All right, so I used to use GitHub a lot, but yeah, see, I'm not even a little bit. This is going to reset. Oh, next Friday. Okay, well, we're using a little bit, but we haven't gotten too far. 48 minutes. I'm going to start again. I've used 25% of this session, which is nothing, right? I mean, I like to try to get to the max, but lately it's been a lot of me going through code and stepping through and thinking through and planning and just trying to make sure everything structures correctly. And as a result, what happened? Are we not? Oh, I must be in break mode. And as a result, I'm not able to put it to work as much. And the thing is, I've got 3 other projects. Sometimes I'll say, oh, go work on this, go work on that. But all of them are in a state I have to get in there and do stuff because I need to go through and validate stuff and check how it's lined up, see how the code's coming out. I'm at a stage where all of my other projects I've designed them, I've planned them, I've built the infrastructure for them, and now I'm starting to get to points where I need to validate and start customizing and making them, my own thing. I've just been kind of building the infrastructure and letting AI help me do that. Infrastructure being like, hey, use this model I created in FTZF for the back end of this game and this game, but we're going to build it with these different model structures. So I have it doing those things. And now those are there. Now I got to go through and see where we're at. How's it look? Are we loading? Like Kingdom Run, I really want to go test Kingdom Run. I have it going. It's not fully functional yet. It doesn't have all the features, but it's doing the mapping and that kind of thing. Theoretically, I should be able to do something with it pretty soon, which will be fun. But that takes a lot of my dev time, and I'm really trying to not have my personal dev time go to anything but this until this is finished. And then that'll be my next project where I start splitting my time towards, updates and whatever, or if I get some more assistance somewhere. But this is kind of like going to be the thing until I finish it. So those things just kind of get forced to sit on the bench now. I go every now and then I'll spend an hour on them just to distract myself. There's something weird about my coin. How do my coin looks chipped? I gotta look at that. All right, so now do we have a coin flip result? Yay! So that should say something to the effect of tails. Aha! It says it. It's not much for me to do because it's jumped on to the next thing. Oops, I didn't look at my speed skill. Still not loading. Yay! Boo! Who's the player? Player name? Justin McClure. What's his position? He is a center. Well, he's got a speed too. Everybody gets a speed. So yeah, that's not loading. Boo on you for failing me. So they're all 0, which fixes them at a certain speed, which makes them slow. I don't know what 0's default is, but it really is kind of crappy. They're just sliding because I don't have any animations yet. Eventually, I'll have to have animations on them and see how they. I gotta do something about their facings. I'll worry about their facings later, but you can see they were just kind of sliding sideways. Ultimately, they should run facing their target as they slide out there. They are sliding in a straight line, so they should be looking at that line, and then they should turn and face, not flip like they snap, which is kind of weird. Let's go see what. Let's go see if the AI figured out why my speed skills aren't loading. You're right to put back. I chased the wrong path. Here's what was actually happening. Real root cause. Blah, 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 blah. Used by online players. You obviously service for every collection on the player, but never copied current raw skills at all. And player pool data didn't even have a field map to the all skills subdocument in Mongo, which is where the raw values actually live. I checked the live database. A sample player has player pool.allskills.speed 5.1. The true 40-yard time versus skill rating speed equals 72.46, the scaled rating. So common get player current skill speed was reading a field that was structurally never populated, 0 for every player. Yep. Fix apply. Verified one more thing. The surfaces. Get players in skill speed. Reads the same source for in-game movement math. That was silently broken too, not just the roster display. Mobile SDK flag not fixed per your verify offline later plan. The offline SQLite path, blah, 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 maps, current, the scale 099 rating, not raw, combined with my earlier mobile SDK fix. Offline mode would get 72.46, if I want 1 for the player, wrong scale, not 0, worth reconciling when you get to offline verification. Verify the speed value shows up correctly now. Just because I am not verifying offline yet does not mean we should put off the fix. If it is known to be broken, we need to keep all parts in sync with best availability. It's like I did say I'll verify later, so it says, "Oh, right, well, let's not bother fixing it then." that's an interesting approach. It's like, okay, the only reason I'm not verifying it till later because I'm one person. I can only verify so much at once. Doesn't mean I don't want it done right. So I'm gonna have to restart some stuff for sure before it'll work because it's rebuilding some structural stuff. Got my leagues types got to be updated, all that fun stuff. I'll probably have to do a rebuild on my DLLAR code. Got to get the speeds updated so that they load correct because the speeds are going to be used everywhere. Even in my next step action, I'll have players that are moving to go cover for certain stuff. It's kind of interesting that these guys aren't very deep, but I guess they don't have to be, right? They're already on the 17. So he kicks it and they only have to drop back 15 yards. It's pretty hard not to be able to get back 15 yards while the ball's in the air. I still don't know. I should probably start figuring out how to set that up. I'm just trying to decide if the question is whether or not I need to define a lot of actions that need to be, what do you call it? Synchronous or asynchronous. Synchronous means this step or this item has to happen before anybody else can do anything. Now, there should never be synchronous actions in the middle of a play. So really the only things are like kick and what else? What other items? Lineup. Lineup is a synchronous action. You have to finish the lineup. The kick itself, the kick is another one that you don't move past. Now, it could get tricky though if I ever do like a motion option on a, like if I decide to create weird kicks, you can't do this on dynamic kickoffs, but you could theoretically do it on previous kickoffs, right? You could have these weird kickoffs where everybody lines up, you do the lineup and stops, and then you have motion and half the team shifts over to the right. So that would be a valid motion scenario. So that would be the step that says, so that would probably be the synchronous. I'd probably have to stick a motion step in there and then have the kick occur after that. But a kick, once it occurs, is kind of like, so only on dynamic kicks is the kick. The kick has to be synchronous on dynamic kicks, which just basically says maybe that's just what delay is going to be. Delay lasts as long as the step until everybody's completed. No, yeah, once the kick, gosh, I'm trying to figure out what the break point is, right? Because the kick has to complete. Once a catch occurs, other players can move. The players that are on a delay. I think really it's going to come down to my just saying, run this play, let me see what's happening, and then I can more easily visualize what the problem is. I need to see ball is kicked. Good. Players aren't moving, or they are moving and I need to stop them. But I need to be able to get that. So let's resolve that. Frodo, online path already fixed last turn. Offline sync path this round. The sync storage plumbing in between. Both paths now source the same raw value, blah, 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 instead of one being empty and the other side using the call scale 0 to 99. All 6 affected modules, players, leagues, and build clean. All right, so that's basically a lot of things that need to be restarted. So we're going to have to go Control-Shift-P And we're going to do a terminate all tasks. Then we got to dump these two guys. And we'll do a new build. And we have to build. Should I build a apple? Oh, I can't do this. I have to stop this first. Stop. Are we in a break mode? No, we're not. Okay, once I get speed populated, it'll be interesting to see these guys run on. Now, to test my speed of my players, I put a multiplier on them so I can, adjust it for faster, slower, whatever, if they're moving too fast or too slow. But it wasn't working, and I was like, is there something wrong with this? And I put it at 100. And I haven't changed it back. So if this works and it starts loading player speeds, these guys are gonna go. They're gonna be like the Flash. That's a 40-yard speed at 100 times. So instead of running it in 4 seconds, 40 yards in 4 seconds, they'll be running 40 yards in 0.04 seconds. That's good. That's 0.046, 0.045. That's going to be kind of crazy fast. I should probably turn that off. I mean, even if I set it at 5 or 10, I should probably not set it so crazy high. Speed multiplier is probably insane. I'll set it at 2. Theoretically, if it's working. Actually, is that right? A multiplier is not making them faster, it's making them slower. Right? Because if their speed is 4.6 and I turn it up times 2, that's 8 point something. They're just going to... So I'd probably be more like I have to set this at 0.5. I didn't even realize that. I'm not making them faster, I'm making them slower. That would have been interesting. I wouldn't have, at 100, I wouldn't have been able to even tell they were moving. At 100, they move 40 yards in 400 seconds. That's even worse. What is going on here? Are these guys even moving? All right, let's try that. Anyway, so everything should be loading. I have to shut this off so that I can run the build because it needs to copy it into the Unity. I'm going to build this. I don't think it's going to work. I've never built this. This would be build 1 for iOS. You are here. You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. This is the first ever attempt. I say attempt because I don't know if it's going to work, to build the iOS version of the game for like mobile devices. Because I just basically had AI said, hey, put iOS stuff in here. And what'll happen is if it errors, I'll just say, I'll give it to AI, say, give a look at this, find out why it's erroring, and create a document for us to fix this, or put us a system to do to fix it. Because I think there's a pretty good chance this is not going to work. All right, so we got the DLL. Android takes a while, so this might be a couple seconds. What I should probably do is create a Guanaco's logo. So they are the Kansas City Chiefs. The Kansas City Chiefs they use an arrowhead, don't they? So there's not really anything llama-esque. I don't know. They look like llamas to me. I don't know. Guanaco, is that a type of llama or is it a type of some other animal? But it looks like it's a llama. Is it a camel? Is a guanaco a camel? I think it's a llama because it doesn't have a hump. But I need a logo for him. So do I just do what if I just do the head of a llama and have it spit? Have a spitting logo. Probably the head of a llama. What I need to do is have a head of a llama, a red llama head, a guanaco head with a white border, because that's kind of Kansas City cheapy, right? Because it's red and white. And they also have yellow in theirs. Or no, that's the Commanders who have yellow in their logo. All right, Android DLL. Come on, you're holding up the show. Honestly, I could probably run now. I think I only need the DLL because it uses the DLL to start, because I'm currently got that as my build item, and that's the one it's using. I think the other ones it's not using, Android or if I were to set that as my build one, it would lock it down and then it wouldn't be able to copy it. All right, doing iOS. Oh look, it just kablooied. What did it do? Skip this platform. iOS build. It just said, nope, we're not doing that. iOS build requires Mac OS. Oh, you can't even build it? Wait a minute. How's that going to work? Oh, see, I don't know how that's going to work. I can't even build I can't even build a file. You can build an Android file here, but what else does it require? With Xcode. Mac OS. Wow. Okay. Well, I don't know how I'm gonna do. I had to build it in a simulator or emulator. Well, you have it here first, folks. We did not build iOS for the first time today. That's interesting. I think there's a way to do it on here. I probably have to do an emulator or something. It's just not important to me right now. That's a down the road problem. That's future me's problem, not present me. Present me don't really care. Present me would do that. Hey, iOS. You know, I have nothing against you iOS people, but you need to switch to Android. It's kind of funny how people are so dedicated to Apple. I mean, not as much as they used to be. But I have some relatives that managed to switch other relatives of mine to Apple. And I'm like, what? Why? Why would you switch? They switched because my aunt and uncle that use Apple, or they're Apple all the way. And my parents were Android. They were always using Android. But my brothers were using Apple. So they felt like they were being missed out because all the people they interact with most were using Apple. Now, I've always been Android, but apparently I don't carry that much weight. My parents went with Apple, mostly because I think it's my aunt and uncle, because they're always on their devices. And they're always trying to tell them how good it is and stuff. And I don't like, other than the fact that I know Android is better and Samsung devices tend to be. Samsung devices are the one you would compare to an Apple device, right? I mean, there's other devices. There's the Google Pixel, and then there's the LG ones. LG's one of those that's like sometimes they're good, sometimes they're not the good. They're like, it's Samsung, and then I think it's Pixel, and then LG. And I don't know if the other two kind of battle it out. I don't know what the market share is, but Samsung owns the market share. They are the most sold device of all phones, mobile devices. And then it's Apple. Then the other guys. I don't know which one, but they're all Android, of course, because Apple's only one version. But considering that Samsung has to share the market with all the other Android devices, and they're still number one, that says a lot that Android is kicking Apple's butt. That's just the way it goes, man. So it just seems weird to switch from Android to Apple. If Apple were to do something really innovative again, and maybe I could see that they moved up, but they haven't. They haven't been making better devices. Their devices are not considered better than Samsung's devices. Have you seen the phone, the Google? Okay, so the I have a Google Fold, not Google Fold, Samsung Galaxy Fold, and but mine is a 5. And then I was noticing that the 7 looks pretty cool, but now they have the 8, and the 8 completely changes the form factor. It's like they made it fatter and shorter. So like I have this guy, right? He's long and skinny. You can see right there. He's long and skinny. This is the 5, and the 4, the 3, they're all like this. They're all really skinny. And then with 6 and 7, they made this a little wider. A little wider. Now, still not wide, but wider. It's a little bit more doable. Because this is really a difficult form factor to work with right here. It's so skinny. So really, I open my device a lot. But I use this when I'm reading and doing that kind of thing. When I just want to check notes and check the basic stuff. But the new form factor is it takes this guy and makes it like way fat and short. And then you open it up and it's kind of like, it's like the new length is no longer, it's now this way, open, which kind of makes sense. It actually makes it a little bit better in that they open, so you don't necessarily have to rotate it for the most common form of phone anymore. If basically opening it is like rotating it versus doing this, which makes it still just a fat upright phone. Right? So it's still a fat landscape or portrait. If you want to ever do landscape on either one, you have to rotate the phone. And but the new one, since it's so short and fatter, it's going to be longer. It's actually basically you have portrait when it's closed and landscape when it's open. But when it's closed, it's weird looking. It's like a fat short phone. I don't know. But it's also $2,000 or some crazy number like that. So it's not like I'm going to have one anytime soon. You can save up to $1,200, which means if you turn in a 7, you could probably get $1,200 back. But if you're turning in a 5, I might get $1,000 back or $900 back, but I'd still be paying stupid amounts of money for 3 years. I don't see me getting one anytime soon, barring a miracle of miraculousness. I don't even know how I ended up getting this one. I don't know how what did I do? What did I do that managed to get that one? Because it was an $1,800 phone when I got it, and I know I didn't pay $1,800 for it. I mean, I had a deal where I think I turned in a Galaxy S22 and they took off like $1,000. I paid like $800 for it, but the payments, which was standard phone stuff, right? If you just got a phone off the bin, you were paying $70-$80. Now you're probably paying 50, 60. I don't know. How long does it take to pay off a $2,000 phone? Even if you take 1,200 off, it's still going to be a lot. Close. All right, let's see what we got. Drum roll, please. Oh yeah, I gotta connect my code here. So what am I looking for? What is the magic? I fixed one thing, and all I did was ask the text. I had to get it to load the game result. Second, we need to see if player skill is now loading up at actual value or player speed. And then player speed should go all the way through because I did trace the fact that it is calling this. And then if it passes all the way through, all my players should be getting a speed value. We will see, though, if that is the case. What happened? Oh, I haven't done anything yet. Let's go here. We'll clear this out. Oftentimes, these new fixes break stuff, though. So let's see what happens. All right, we're here. We're gonna run F5. Oh, nope, nope, don't type. That's not F5, that's just 5. 5 don't do anything. All right. I still gotta check my coin. My coin has a weird thing on it. All right, so what do we got? Kick receive. Oh, we already know that's fixed. I don't need this break anymore. And I don't need that one anymore either. Yeah, it's Orioles. I can't read that fast. All right. Game session. Game start game. All right. So we're gonna go here. All right. Player ski. And we have 5.44. We have slow player. But that's probably because it's a center or something. A center it is. Okay. So we have data. Let's see if this wants to load up anybody. They do look faster. They are kind of cruising. They should be moving at different speeds. He's still a little slow though. But it is fast. It's also really choppy. Now, I don't know if the problem is choppy because I'm in Unity or what. Theoretically, no, I fixed this text. What the heck? I set this text smaller. It must have reset it. Could have swore I know I put this down smaller. Because I don't like it over. See how it's outside of the borders of the square it's in? That's not good. But it was faster. I need to see. Well, I think it worked this time. And I did it at 2 times speed, or I cut their speed in half. And they were moving pretty good, but man, I really want animations. I really want animations. Now, by the way, I originally had an animation on one of my original characters, but it was tripo animation, and it's really not great. In fact, I've tried to put tripo animation on all these guys. It's garbage. They look weird. I guess I could put it on them just to have it there. But it's going to take some time. I have to do it for the problem is I don't want to do it for every character. I want to create a skeleton that works for everybody, and then I just apply the same skeleton to everybody. But that also means I need more models. Right now, everybody's on just 2 clean teams here. What's going to look like is, say, for example, they're all blue and orange. Let's say we are playing with the Beborn Scorned, who are blue and orange, which is fine. But what we would have here is a bunch of different characters, but all wearing the blue and orange uniforms. That's the ultimate goal. So they'll all look kind of different. Some guys will have the wings, some will have tails, some might not be wearing a helmet because, like the rhinos, they don't wear a helmet. A couple of guys are like that, but they all should have, like, shoulder pads, football pants. Not all of them wear cleats either. Some guys just have big feet and they just have big feet. They just run. So the only thing that's going to be consistent for most players, with the exception of the snakes, is they're going to have pants, jersey, and shoulder pads. And then they may have, some have gloves, some don't. That's fine. That's just the nature of the character. Then I'll have characters that are supposed to be a little, have thinner versions and thicker versions of each one. That is the dream. But that means getting someone in to help me do that, because it's going to take a really long time. That in itself could be the entire delay of the game. I could spend the next year getting all the features and everything working, and then I'm just going to be spending a year trying to mess with the graphics, trying to make the graphics good. So if I had help with graphics, we're talking about a lot faster, because I have somebody working on graphics while I get all the other stuff, hopefully a year in. It is bugging me though that my my backgrounds, or my end zones don't have their text. So it either did not get set, which is not correct, because I know it was getting sets, and I haven't done nothing to change that. So either it's not getting set, or it's buried by the end zone. Let's go see. Let's go see if the problem is it's getting buried by the end zone. That's something I could fix easily. field line, center, oh wait, home, end zone, home text. All right, so we got home text. If it's a matter of this. Aha. It is a matter of that. There it is, 5. So we are just too low. And that means my end zones are dumb right now. That means that the paint on the end zones is way too high. Center field logo, field lines, field numbers. Because, or the football field, the numbers, the lines, what's too high? The numbers are 0.2, which should not be holding anything up because there's no numbers on the end zone. Field lines, your end zone, 0.3. I mean, it could be, but I don't. Huh. What about the ground? Where's the ground at? Ground is way down. Something is not right. Why is it not right? I don't know. I'm trying to figure out who is hovering so high that I have to put this at 0.5 up. Point 0.5 is really high. That means something's at least 0.3, 0.4 up. But field lines are only at 0.2. End zone line is 0.3. Why are field lines? Oh. If field lines are at 0.2 and these are inside of it, that's another 0.3. That's 0.5. That's too high. So field lines are too high. So all these should basically be at 0. Because the field lines themselves should be raised. Uh-huh. So let's see. If I set you at 0, I don't know if that's going to do anything, but we'll try it. 0. That's the home. The scorned? Scorned or home. Okay, so that's actually I think they're both home. All right, nope, it's this one. Home end zone. It's at 0 now. Not sure why that changed. Why did the color change? Interesting. Oh, is that the X? Oh. Okay. That's not. Hey, somehow that moved it to the center of the field. I don't know why that happened, but why is -458 the X position that puts it in the end zone? That is weird. -458, really? That is. I just feel like that's a lot further away than that. It's like, why wouldn't that be a much bigger number? So what is the away end zone? It's +458. Okay, guess that makes sense then. The offset just seems really weird. But so if home end zone is 0, field lines are 2, that didn't change anything. So really, is it just that all these guys are? Actually, I don't think that's the problem. What if I set this back to 0? That is 0. Sort of showed up because we're at 0.2. But my end zone logo is at 0.1. So this does not need to be at 5. It just needs to be at 0.3. And this one, actually, why don't I just do this? It's 0.1. If this guy is at 0.2 and that's 0, that would make this guy 0.3 just to be on top. This guy at 0.3. And this could be at 0. Oops. Don't know why. Oh. It's interesting because my color is now funky. Where did my color go? See, this is the kind of thing you have to do in Unity. You have to go through and start fiddle-faddling with all this stuff. Nothing is easy in Unity. It's like, hello, why are you being such a butt? Okay, so these don't need to have any value if my... Oh, probably because my text needs to be on top of my color. And that's probably the problem. I would imagine the text has to be on top of the color. So maybe if this is 0.3, this has to be 0.4. Still seems high. I don't like my things floating this high. Okay. 0.3. Oh, that's supposed to be 0.3. Dang it. And then you need to be 0.1. I don't know why. So, I mean, that works, but it's at 0.4 total. So something is still floating way too high. And I don't know how close things are in layers. I mean, you saw that if they're the same, they kind of overlap and you get kind of a mix. But can I do like 0.0 blah point and still have a full layer? Will that work? Or is there a weird overlap in that scenario? It's like if I go here and say what if I go 0.3 and then just say like this would be like 0.5. And it does show up on top. And then do the same thing over here. Just say 0.5. All it does is make sure that the text is slightly higher than the color. I mean, honestly, I want them to be as flat as possible. And as long as I don't need to worry about there being some kind of weird overlap. Because I got my center field logo and that's at 0.3, right? But that's because it needs to be on top of the lines, which are at 0.2. So it's at 0.3. So the football field itself is 0, which has to be inside the sim container, which doesn't mean anything at 0. So we got football field is 0. Everything else is where it's appearing. So if this guy's on the same level as it, the ground, it's at 0, 1. So this can be 0, and then all these guys could be at like whatever. But the problem is my color stopped showing up. Now I don't remember changing my color. So in theory, I don't end zone. I think the problem may be if that's -1, center field logo, field numbers. Field numbers don't, they have to sit on top of the ground. Do they have to be at 3? What if I set them at 1? No, they still show up. These guys. All right, so they don't have any effect. And then these guys, field lines, they can be theoretically at 1 as well because the numbers don't overlap them, and they shouldn't. As long as they don't overlap, that's when you get an issue. Okay, so you got field numbers. And so everybody here, and this guy, now we have the end zone, which doesn't have anything because the field, so they're 1, that's 1. There shouldn't be any overlap in any of this stuff. And then these guys have to be kind of on top. But really, I could set this to 2 now. Or 1.5. Let's do a 1.5. Let's see what that does. See the color? Where's the color coming from? Oh, maybe. Where am I setting the color at? Something is setting that color. See, this is not the color. But something is setting the color. That's supposed to be orange, by the way. It looks kind of pink, doesn't it? I need a better orange color. I don't know what that is, but that's not orange. I don't know where that color is coming from. Because this is blue. That's blue. So where's the orange coming from? Oh, there's orange. Huh. Oh, that's the text color. It's supposed to be blue. So really, it's the text that needs to rise, but that's why that's not working. So what if I said like 1.5 here? 1.5. Still not the same color. Why is it showing up that way? Because the color is blue. Why is it showing up as, well, not blue? I don't know what that is. It says blue. That is not blue. Well, now at least we got our color back on top. Well, sorta. That's blue. Oh, do I have them different colors on different end zones? Is that what I'm doing? Oh, no. Oh, I see. This needs to drop to 0. 0, 0, 0.15, 0.15. So why is that one different color? Do I have a different coloring? Jeez Louise, man. What is going on? Yikes. This is the wrong color text. That's blue. That's blue. So they should both be blue. Text. And they should both, they basically have the same settings. There's no raise. 001. Home end zone mesh. Away end zone mesh. One of these guys is blue, the other one is not, or orange. Why? Why? I think it's probably because of this guy here. I don't know what home end zone lines are, but I wonder if that one's set for away. Away end zone mesh. Oh, look at that. There's my colorings. Why are they in the field lines? I think that's a bug. When I set my colors, I'm setting them here in the field lines, but these aren't field lines. These aren't even lines. I think we may be setting the wrong values here. I think the one I want is this guy, home end zone. Yeah. And then this guy, away end zone. All right, so I got to stop this. All right, I think that's the problem. I think these two things are bogus. Bogus? Bogus amogus. Okay, so we got to go here. And then we got to take this home end zone and we put it here. And we take this away end zone and put it here. Now it has the right text areas, but I think these two guys, I'm just going to turn those off. I bet you they're nothing. I bet you I don't even need these. I'm going to turn those off. I think it was a, we'll call it a replication. I somehow created two sets of things, two end zones, which are just wrong. Because it was changing the text on these, but it was incorrectly. Somehow I ended up with two of them. That's all I'm saying. That's all I have to say. So we have speed. We have things laying out. I still have to get the kick to render. So much for getting the kick to render now, huh? It's Friday. I can't work on no more. I'm not allowed to work no more. I can't do it. I have to go do other stuff. Got to go start my Friday. Time to go do some, I don't know, go walk the dogs, go just take my brain off of gaming. Sometimes I was like, oh, I was so close. I wanted to get the kick rendered, but I can't help but want to fix these little problems. I don't like little problems. Look at that. I think it just randomly assigns something different to this every time. That's not even, it's like it doesn't know what to put in there, so it just throws whatever. Because that's not my default. Scarlet Javel Guanacos. Now it's an owl. Earlier it was a Yeti. I don't know where it's getting. It's like if it doesn't have something, it just picks whatever. It does, at least when it does pick an actual team with has something. It was still picking the llamas, but they are moving way fast onto the field now. I don't know where my kicker is though. Oh, there he is. Hey, I'm coming, man. I'm getting ready. We're all good. Hey, ready? On your marks, get set, kick the ball off. Yay! So we have the Scorned has blue end zones now instead of the orange end zones. I still think there's something wrong there. It did not set those correctly for whatever reason. It's not setting these guys correctly. They're supposed to be orange end zones. I know that's not even orange. I don't even know what that is. What color is that supposed to be? Oh, that says orange right there. Base map orange. And that one? That's light blue. What? 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 All I have to say is what? What is that? That one's dark blue. So these guys both have a dark blue end zone. But those are not the colors that they're supposed to be getting. So, yeah. I think I'm correct in getting rid of those two end zones. It didn't have any effect on anything. They have nothing to do with the lines. There are no lines. I mean, there are lines, but I don't think it has any effect on what I'm seeing here. Because the end zone line exists. You can see it from here. Can't see them from here. Well, guys, I've been on for 2 hours and it's Friday, so I got to stop. I didn't make a ton of progress, knocked out a couple of little itty bitties, but as you can see, I do have a ball in front of my guy, which I need to rotate, by the way, so it looks like it's about to be kicked. It's sideways. It's lying on its side right now. We need to rotate that so it stands upright. And then I need to have this guy move to this spot, sending this ball flying through the air. Now, I've seen a number of games that I think make the football bigger, just because, making it easier to see. Like, if we were to go look at my reference game, my game of reference, which I really like, these guys did a good job, and my game is not going to look exactly like theirs because, well, that'd be no fun. But I want it to function as well as theirs. Is there a 2026? There's not even a Big Win Football 2026. Big Win Football. Nah. I think there was a 2024. Yeah, there it is. I don't think there was a 2025, honestly. They went out of business in 2025 and got resurrected in 2026. But they got, somebody bought them or took over. I actually wanted to see if I could get it. I mean, not buy it, but I wanted to be able to pick somebody's brain, see if they could give me a hand, but they were non-responsive to me. Okay, so let's just go to a game here. So let's see. Is their ball big? Yeah, that ball isn't that big. Where's it at? I can't even see it. Oh, it went off the screen. That's why. They really kicked that ball up. I mean, relatively speaking, they kicked that ball into China. Notice this is supposed to be professional football, but look at the football. It's got lines on it. See? You can see, well, maybe it's just the way the light's hitting it, but it appears to have lines on it. Let's see, is there lines on it? You can barely even see it on the ground. You know, the thing is, it's got some kind of white coloring on it. They put some kind of highlights on the ball. But see how smooth their game runs? Oh, I'm so impressed. You can kind of see the strings on it. They only have like 3 or 4 formations, and they only run a couple of different plays, but I'm just trying to look. But see, this is kind of like the smoothness I want my game to be. And look how there's definitely some things I like about their layout that I may or may not have to try to. I don't like the text because okay, so remember, my game is fantasy themed, so I'm trying to use text that's fantasy-esque. And see the little arrows on the numbers? I don't think that's common in pro. That's common in college football. That's why I don't have them. Because you don't see, I don't think those numbers exist in professional football. Let's look at the Empower Stadium. Empower Stadium. Oh, there are some arrows on there. Huh. Well, I'll be darned. I may have to come up with an arrow. Gotta be official, man. I didn't think they had the arrows. Wow. Fooey McDuty. I didn't know that was normal. So I got, what is it? Arrow or triangle? What is that? Sheesh. Is there like a closer image? Here you go. Yeah, they put these little triangles on them. Huh. Huh, huh, huh. Well, that's the thing. I got to put some triangles on my field. We'll have to figure that one out next. So look, the Broncos don't actually color their end zones. Maybe that's an maybe that's a Super Bowl thing. I think some teams do color their fields though, their end zones. I just think Denver doesn't. They just leave it all grass and then they put the orange Broncos on grass. I would like to. Oh, I didn't even think about that. That's an idea. Color my stadium seating this way. I don't have people on my seats. I have no people. That's a skill that I don't have either. Making my stadium have people on the seats. I have, it's a real stadium that I could put models on there or put something on there. I just don't know how to do it. So many things to learn. So little time. Okay, so anyway, that's where I'm at. I will get this kickoff rendering. That's my next goal. We're getting there. Slowly but surely. I got players with speed moving onto the field now. I got to figure out rotations and other things. I'll get that going too. Eventually, I'll have all that. I'm fixing everything as in bulk. So when I fix an item, it'll be good for the rest of the game. So each time I fix it, I should be pretty safe in knowing the next time I do a kick, it's going to work. Next time I do whatever. So I got to go through each skill, each thing generating. I've already generated the results of a kick, as in where the ball is going to go. I haven't figured out how to render that result though.